Windsor is also Mayor FRE in Windsor Z-Band of Finlinda Verbind. During your visit or during our visit, you kindly invited me to address the Bundestag in a deeply appreciated gesture of remarkable friendship, as well as visit your world-famous markets. Celebrate the spirit of reconciliation under the cross of nails at St. Nikolai Memorial Church and be shown how you are using green energy in your ports and transport infrastructure. And I'm so pleased, therefore, that your visit in the days ahead to London and to Coventry will carry many of the same themes, recognizing the deeply historic and richly innovative relationship our two nations hold. And of course this has always been the way from the year 695, when the patron saint of Germany, Saint Boniface, crossed the Channel from Anglo-Saxon England to preach the gospel to the Germanic tribes across the Rhine, seen as barbarians by the popes, but to Boniface his kinsman. To Edith, the sister of Ethelstan, the first king of the United England, who in 959 married the Saxon Emperor Otto the Great, later crowned by the Pope in Rome and described as fearless, charismatic, and intimidatingly hairy, and to Martin Luther, who contributed to the intellectual foundations of the English Church some 500 years later. The bedrock of our relationship has not only been in ideas but also in trade. Merchants and craftsmen from Dortmund and Cologne, who in 15 and 1380 operated the Guild Hall of the Germans in London, which then dominated trade between our nations and indeed across Europe for over 200 years. Ahead of tomorrow night and the dinner you will attend at the City of London's own Guild Hall. It is wonderful to be joined this evening by business leaders and investors, scientists and creators, representatives of some of the 2,500 German businesses which have made the United Kingdom their home and who personify the modern equivalent of those merchants who came before them. Germany is known the world over for invention and innovation. Siemens' industrial plant in Newcastle is one of many global examples, as is BMW's Mini Cooper plant in Oxford. But even the distinguished representatives of the German automotive industry here this evening with their cars containing all the latest technology, highest safety, greatest luxury and new green technologies would perhaps have looked in awe at you Bundy's president as you traveled this afternoon in the most comfortable and lowest emissions vehicle in the world, the horse-drawn royal carriage. It might only be 6 horsepower, but sometimes a simpler vehicle is all one needs. Football, of course, is another shared endeavor, and I am delighted to see so many of the footballing fraternity around the table with us here this evening. And of course I use the word shared in the broadest meaning of the word. There was one has to admit some element of truth in the famous description of football as a game where 11 people play 11 people and then in the end the Germans win, and exactly, and with our German friends, as with all of the closest relationships, we celebrate not only our shared characteristics but also our differences. It can have escaped no one's attention that Germans are considered by many in my country to have a somewhat different sense of humor. But let me assure you, Herr Bundespräsident, British humor is no laughing matter like our languages English and German, which share such deep common roots, but now do sound a little different. It is undoubtedly true that your language contains a very large number of very long words. As someone who has spent some time trying to learn a little Welsh, I have some sympathy for the proposition that needless gaps between words are a dreadfully inefficient use of paper. President Kensington Harbourist Victoria Albert Museum Kensington Morgan Vanulik D Museum V and East Bazuk then Falcon is the Kernighan Victoria Prince Albert Matter had a Lig reformer. We have of course experienced the darkest times and the most terrible consequences of conflict. But perhaps now, so many decades later, the acknowledgement of past suffering has become the basis for an honest friendship renewed and redoubled. So looking ahead, Hebundy's President, we have a responsibility to our citizens and to our European neighbors as well as the wider world to speak about the shared values of the United Kingdom and Germany and our shared vision for the future of our modern world as encapsulated in the Kensington Treaty as two of the world's great economies and great powers and with such intimate understanding of one another. I am confident we will face these challenges together. Our partnership continues to adapt to new times. We now find ourselves at the forefront of a global transformation. The search for a way of living that is at once prosperous, humane, and sustainable. Here, as elsewhere, Britain and Germany stand shoulder to shoulder, guided not only by technology and science but by conscience. We are working together to secure the transition to a world powered by clean energy, the very basis of a livable planet for future generations. And from protection of the world's rainforests through to the development of renewable energy in the North Sea to the restoration of our peatlands to the promise of nuclear fusion and the transformative impact of quantum technologies and space research. Our two countries are partners not just in policy but in practice. We are animated by the same belief that progress is only meaningful when it genuinely serves humanity. And with regard to shared defense, our German-British bridging battalion at Minden, which I visited during our state visit 2 years ago, is literally building bridges. A unique partnership at the heart of NATO. And more broadly, of course, the United Kingdom and Germany together stand with Ukraine and bolster Europe against the threat of further Russian aggression. Like you, I place trust in the ambition and imagination of our young people, in the Mutzahen, in your memorable phrase, Bundespräsident, courage to hope. It is young people's ideas and their passion that will shape the future we share. Whether through academic exchange, youth-led innovation, or the friendships forged in classrooms and on playing fields, partnerships between our young people will be the foundation for understanding between our nations now and in the years to come. President in some eras Albarina Ma Vang, and Sherden moment in the Menite, the turbulent Sitten, there's politician technologician vandals common and Stinik. König Dutzeland since infest and Democrat then freed the Zella Harban Lesa. In an unsank. In that conviction, let us tonight renew our shared determination to face the future together with honesty and in deep friendship. Therefore, as we celebrate that deep friendship, allow me to propose a toast. A toast to you, Herr Bundespräsident, and to you, Frau Budenbender, and to the people of the Federal Republic of Germany. Thank you so much.